Thanks very much for tuning in to News 9 Unmissable with me, Nabila Jamal. I take you through news from India and across the globe. Let me start with our top story. Asia Cup 2025, that's currently happening. India-Pakistan match to happen this Sunday, but we're looking at boycott calls already echoing in India. Post the Pahalgam terror attack, Indians by and large asking, do we really need to play Pakistan? Well, let me take you through news on Charlie Kirk, who's a conservative leader, in fact, a strong ally he was of Donald Trump and Trump's MAGA campaign, an anti-immigration policy voice. He was assassinated at the age of 31 at a large public gathering. I'm going to take you through that story. And of course, finally, Sanjay Singh, Aam Aadmi Party MP, Rajya Sabha MP, who's currently under house arrest in Srinagar after he went to Srinagar to show solidarity with Mehraj Malik, the AAP MLA from Srinagar, the lone AAP MLA, who was arrested on PSA charges. Stringent sections imposed on Mehraj Malik because he spoke against the police there. I'm going to take you through all that news. As always, the headlines first. Prime Minister Narendra Modi visits Dehradun to assess flood, landslide and heavy rain damage across Uttarakhand. Announces 1,200 crore relief package, ex gratia for victims and PM Cares support for orphan children. A Delhi court rejects plea alleging Sonia Gandhi's name was added to voter rolls before she became an Indian citizen. Complainant had claimed her entry in the New Delhi constituency in 1980 was invalid. Delhi court rejecting that plea. And CRPF flags breaches of security protocol by Rahul Gandhi during multiple foreign visits, citing lapses that could compromise his Z+ VVIP protection. Letters have been sent to Rahul and Congress Chief Mallikarjun Kharge urging strict adherence to mandatory protective measures. The Supreme Court declines urgent plea to cancel the India-Pakistan match, part of Asia Cup T20 tournament, citing no immediate need for intervention. What is the urgency, the court says? It's a match, let it be. Justice J.K. Maheshwari remarked while refusing to list the matter. Expelled BJP leader Basangaur Patil Yatnal courts outrage after C.T. Ravi himself spoke on lines of beheading Muslims. This is precisely what he said. We will behead Muslims if they react. And this comes after the stone pelting incident that happened in Mandya. Now Yatnal says, if I were the Home Minister, I would have shot them in the mouth. Targeting Muslims, these messages there. C.T. Ravi has already been booked. Yatnal's statement has resulted in a lot of outrage. Patali Makkal Kachi, PMK founder S. Ramadas expels his son Anbumani Ramadas, citing disregard for party elders and their advice. The rift deepens and as Anbumani claims that he remains the elected party president recognized by the Election Commission. Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan says every single vote given to the BJP will destroy Kerala's culture, accusing the party of attempting to alter state traditions, including Onam. He urges citizens to understand the implications of supporting the BJP ahead of local body or assembly polls. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer removed Peter Mandelson as the ambassador to Washington after new emails revealed his supportive correspondence with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. President Donald Trump expressed displeasure over Israel's military strikes on Hamas leaders in Qatar, saying that he was not thrilled with the operation. The White House clarified that Trump was not notified in advance, even as Qatar served the right to respond to the attack. Right, let me start with our top story, the Asia Cup 2025. A lot of outrage already spilling out on social media platforms from India specifically. Momentum is now building in India to boycott the Asia Cup 2025, scheduled from 9th to 28th of September in UAE. The match between India and Pakistan is scheduled for 14th. And that's now being questioned. Why is India playing Pakistan post the Pahalgam terror attack that killed 26 Indians? You already have opposition-led groups like the Shiv Sena UBT camp who've launched protests under the banner of Sindoor Raksha Abhiyan. While voices from politics and cricket, Harbhajan Singh, Manoj Tiwari and Samajwadi Party, political party in Uttar Pradesh also arguing that playing Pakistan dishonors soldiers' sacrifices. On social media, we are looking at boycott hashtags that's now trending, asking why is India playing with Pakistan? Is there no way to end this or boycott the cup altogether? In fact, many players who are featured in those ads of this Asia Cup 2025, some of the players, they're also being targeted. But you have some voices within the cricketing fraternity, like, for example, former captain Sourav Ganguly, who insists that sport must continue. While the board dismissed reports of India pulling out a baseless, the Supreme Court too has refused to cancel the Dubai fixture, calling it a matter of sports administration. And you heard the Supreme Court basically just saying, what's the hurry in listening to this matter? It's just a match, let it go on. Basically not entertaining the plea that wanted this match to be cancelled and for it to be ordered by the Supreme Court itself. Boycotts, however, are not new to the Asia Cup. India skipped the 1986 edition in Sri Lanka, citing safety fears during its civil war. Pakistan stayed away from the 1990 tournament in India, and the 1993 edition was cancelled altogether due to Indo-Pak tensions. Nearly 4 decades on, politics still casting a shadow here. Critics now asking if Pakistan could boycott a match with India at that point in 1993, then why can't India boycott Pakistan, especially when Operation Sindoor is still on pause? Of course, the counter-argument here by the BCCI is that this time India is a host nation for this edition. Matches have been deliberately shifted to UAE. In fact, it is happening in Abu Dhabi because this was the rule under neutral venue deal that they struck with Pakistan. And this is binding. India has got to play as it's the host country this time, and they chose a neutral location only because this match could go on. Now, India stated sports policy bars bilateral events with Pakistan but allows participation in multilateral tournaments under international sporting norms. And that raises the uncomfortable question, if ties are suspended bilaterally on all forms and all kinds, why does the same principle not extend to all formats of the game? For now, the India-Pakistan showdown on September 14 stays firm on the Asia Cup calendar. Sunday is the game. Indians already calling for a boycott of the entire tournament altogether. Whether this is going to happen, will this really be something that Indians will boycott? India-Pakistan match is known to be the most sought-after cricketing match in the world. Let me bring in our panelists. Joining us, Chandra Shekhar Luthra, who's a sports journalist. We also have Shekhar Vijayan, Indian sports commentator, and Dr. Rajiv Nanda, senior advocate, Supreme Court of India. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us. In fact, let me ask the advocate first. Dr. Rajiv Nanda, what's your take on the Supreme Court saying not interested to hear the matter now, there's nothing urgent? It's a match, let it go on. But we see the sentiments of Indians by and large, at least going by what's on social media platform, clearly shows that people are so angry with what happened in Pahalgam that they can't bear that India has obliged to play Pakistan. Even though it's international norms, should we not have shown spine? Should have Supreme Court heard the matter? I mean, what do you believe legally, how could this have been dealt?
The Pahalgam sentiment is prevailing all over the country. This is the national spirit at the moment to boycott Pakistan in every way. We are not having anything to do with the Pakistan at the moment. No water, no trade, no sharing of airspace. And we just barely few months ago lost 26 people. What do we say? The national sentiment says, what do we say to those widows when the present executive was saying that Operation Sindoor is not yet over? What do we tell to these people? Are we going to just play cricket just because the BCCI has committed some few, or maybe we are the co-hosts? It is not the question of host or not the host. The question is, should we have any kind of relationship with Pakistan at the moment? At the moment, the national sentiment is no. Please, no. Yes, now coming to the question of PIL not being entertained by Supreme Court, I don't want to make a comment on Supreme Court what they did today, but certainly had the petitioners approached perhaps a few days ago, because 14th of September was already fixed. I think or 10 days ago, this date, 15 days ago, this date was already announced, when it was announced that the Pakistan-India match under this tournament will be held on 14th of September. Perhaps if somebody would have approached the PIL, through the PIL, the Supreme Court earlier, maybe some order could have been passed. Now, at the last moment, Supreme Court has said that no, let it happen. Because certainly this is not the way to approach Supreme Court at the last moment and then say, please intervene. It is for the executive to have taken the call to tell the BCCI not to have taken such kind of steps, because ultimately it is not the question of money here. Even if it is in the name of money, let it be. It is the question of national sentiment at the moment. We do not wish to have any kind of relationship with Pakistan, come it may, whatever. This is the national sentiment. So Supreme Court has simply said that no, we are not going to hear this matter not today, or because the match is scheduled for Sunday. If this was to be heard tomorrow, perhaps there could have been some order. Now they have simply said that no, we will not be hearing this matter tomorrow. So that makes the petition infructuous. Doesn't mean that Supreme Court has approved that let the match go on. It is just an observation, oral observation made by the Honorable Judge. It is nothing to, it is neither here nor there. Few people making a call, like some players saying that no, let it go on, the match should go on. Yes, but please, Rashtra Sarvopari, we have to see that what is the sentiment of the nation. Sentiment of the nation is certainly against this. And if the sentiment of the nation will be ignited, there can be big problems for India. I mean, I personally speaking for myself and speaking about the people I have spoken to, none, I have never come across anybody who has spoken in favor of this match. I've spoken to so many celebrities, I've spoken to the general
but
public.
at the same time, the BCCI basically says that it's a international game, multilateral game. This is the norm that India can't back off because it's a host nation.
We could have played in this series, but we could have refused to have playing against Pakistan. This is what I'm saying.
How does that really work? Shekhar Vijayan, do you want to jump in on that? In fact, let me... go on, Shekhar. How does it really work?
See, Nabila, we had this incident which happened in Pahalgam, about 26 people getting killed. This didn't happen overnight. This happened a few months back. Now, we're saying that BCCI has suddenly woken up from the past and decided that we will have this match. It makes no sense. We've been having these TV discussions for quite a long time. We've spoken about the fact that there should be a charter in place in terms of BCCI if they want to play a game with Pakistan. There is no way by which you can play a game with Pakistan when the Prime Minister has gone on the Parliament, when the Defence Minister has spoken about the fact that Operation Sindoor is still on. Like our esteemed Prime Minister speaking about the fact that when Operation Sindoor is on, we cannot play cricket with them at this point of time. If we just reverse it, if Pakistan was in India's case, I'm sure Pakistan would not play cricket with India. I think it's very clear we have to take a stand. India really has to take a stand at some point of time about where they stand in terms of playing cricket with Pakistan or not. And India can manage without playing cricket with Pakistan. India has such a big cricketing power.
Chandrasekhar Luthra, on the rules of the game. Chandrasekhar Luthra, please give us the guidelines. What's the rule? We know that emotions, of course, at this point is superseding all rules. And we're calling for a boycott. I say we because I include myself in the scores of people who are really angry with what happened in Pahalgam. And playing Pakistan right now almost means and suggests that we're past it, and we're not.
Well, Nabila, if you are on that side, hate mongering is on both sides, whether it's Pakistan or India. But if you are on that side, you are actually questioning the wisdom of our Prime Minister, who was recently in China to have some kind of relations again coming on track. Who is your enemy number one, China or Pakistan? For me, I think it's China. We all know how Operation Sindoor, China was damaging us, our soldiers, or China was helping Pakistan in whatever, way. The point is coming back to cricket. If these kind of hate mongering goes on around the world, then obviously there'll be so many countries, so many, whether it's cricketing or Olympic charter or anything, everybody will be boycotting this game or the other game. But because of the sportsman spirit, simply, this is not politics, this is sports, which create some kind of legitimacy or also the bridge the gap between two nations, whether it's Israel versus any other country or whether it's Russia versus America during the Cold War. They tried to boycott in 1980 and 1984. What happened after that? They sat on the table, they said nothing to do with this. Let's play the game in the right spirits and we can settle the things, other ways. So right now also, if you are questioning the wisdom of your home minister, whose son is the International Cricket Council secretary, then obviously this is a problem. That means you will have enemies all around your country, whether it's Pakistan or Sri Lanka tomorrow, or maybe other countries. So you want to bring India or BCCI to a situation where probably we'll be isolated. We will only be playing IPL. Because obviously the Australians or any other countries.
Why do you believe we will be isolated? No, just give me clarity. Yeah.
Clarity is it's a very simple game. Cricket is played between how many countries? 12 otherwise, but overall 6 to 7 good nations or the meaningful nations, I would say. So what happens if you start boycotting Pakistan or for tomorrow, for that reason, some other country, then obviously the other countries will come together. It is not
are you really telling me, sir, are you really telling me that the world will not understand if we say we do not want to play Pakistan this time? We know that Pakistan boycotted India when the match was happening in 1993.
There was no boycott. Please don't tell me there was no boycott. Whether it was a government permission, that is a rule between India and Pakistan and all other countries. Whenever there is a match, you have to visit any other country, whether it's Australia or England.
Do give us a fact check on this.
The government.
Sir, do give us a fact check on this. Did Pakistan boycott the Asia Cup with India in 93, 91 and 93?
They didn't come to India for the security reason. That is what I'm saying.
What do you mean security reasons?
Security reasons are very simple. Whenever we have to go to any other country, not just Pakistan, we have to get the security clearance from our home ministry, MEA. Okay, so if that is not coming or if there are some problems between the two countries, that's how...
That's precisely BCCI what's the problem right now as well.
Listen to me first. That's how BCCI secretary, son of Mr. Amit Shah, signed this bilateral treaty between the two countries in December 2024, because he knew that India is going to host the Asia Cup and there will be a problem. So we signed this with Pakistan that all the multinational tournaments will be played in the neutral countries. Now are you going to go back on your own words? Are you actually questioning the wisdom of Narendra Modi that I can go to China to bridge gaps, but we cannot play with Pakistan because probably enemy number 1 is better than enemy number 2? Come on, this is simply hate mongering.
Look,
and believe me,
sir, China's role is not certain. Pakistan's role is certain, right? China's role is not certain. We don't even know. We can conspire as much as we want to, and we can say whatever we want to on the show here.
Nabila, right? Your and my political understanding is same. Yeah. You want to interpret in a different way, that's fine. That suits you. But overall, you look at day after game, it will be widely watched. Everybody will be watching it.
Sir, we went to war with Pakistan. It was a near war situation. I won't say war because war is a very heavy word. We nearly went to war with Pakistan. We indulged in a few days of...
You keep playing the war games. That's what hate mongers are doing in this country.
But how is it hate mongering? I'm shocked when you say that this is hate mongering.
Because Pakistani players have not done this, because the sports is being played in
They have responsibility. They are representing a country that backed terror and continues to back terror. You have a Pakistani diplomat, Zubair, today, who's been summoned for allegedly orchestrating or plotting terror activities across the country. Pakistani diplomat Zubair has been summoned
there
today.
Could be a counter argument. Nabila, there could be a counter argument. If in SCO, in China, if they condemn the killing in India, they also condemn the killing in Balochistan.
Pakistan
counter-argument
condemned
is
India.
Indian
Pakistan players extensively wrote against India during Operation Sindoor, and
listen.
it was non-stop
If you are a Pakistani
onslaught
player,
from that side.
Listen. You can't target these players. They are just the pawns. Everything that is being asked by our cricketers are being asked by political.
So they're pawns. They fall in pawns to the Pakistan army.
Obviously.
You're right. So then why do you encourage it? Why do you encourage them?
No. It's not encouraging. It is bridging the gap. It is the cricket diplomacy, which has always worked. It is the sports diplomacy, which has always worked between the two countries.
Worked monetarily, yes.
Listen,
I don't know what else. Money-wise, yes.
Listen, I tell you an incident, very small incident. In 2014 in Incheon, South Korea, when we were covering the Asian Games there was a final football match between North and South Korea. And believe me, the entire South Korean audience was behind North Koreans because they were trying to display their sentiments that we are just separated by these politicians, the bad politicians, and they were backing them. They lost, North Koreans, but everybody in the stadium, they were crying, they were weeping, they were backing them. That's the kind of sportsman spirit. I belong to that. I firmly believe in this kind of thing. I don't believe in this hate-mongering. It's a very, very simple case for me. I'm a sports reporter for 31 years, and I strongly believe that whatever is happening in the right spirit and with the help, with all the guidance or philosophy of our Prime Minister and Home Minister, whose son is there as the ICC chief.
I just have a limited point. If Pakistan could boycott the Asia Cup in 1990s...
No, they never boycotted, please.
They did not come to India. They did not come to India in the 90s.
No, they did not come because their government refused to give permission. If our government refused to give permission there, that is a role.
Are you really saying that our cricketing body is completely independent? That our government has no say?
That is what I am saying. They are not independent. The ICC, not the ICC, but the ICC overall rule is that whenever any cricketing nation is visiting any other country, there has to be permission from the Ministry of Home Affairs and the
So why is our Ministry of Home Affairs giving a go-ahead?
Then ask Mr. Amit Shah. Why his son is not
we are holding a show here so that we are holding... I'm saying this to you. We are holding a show. Amit Shah does not come to my show, unfortunately.
So
there will be a time he probably will.
Him to resign because his son is
not
obeying his orders, or ask Mr. Narendra Modi to resign because he has visited your enemy number one. Because that's never been the policy. We want to bridge gaps. We want to bring in peace between the two countries. It is not that hate-mongering or any troller can come and say that we should boycott this game. How can you boycott? You want to be isolated in cricket? You just want to watch
We still have a few terrorists to clamp down on.
So ask your security forces,
so at a time like this,
to catch them. Listen. You have to ask your security forces, Home Ministry, everybody to do that. And our Operation Sindoor is still on. Where are we asking them to stop it? We are asking them to also have a kind of, bridge where we can walk across, we can talk to each other, where there should be a chances for a peace. And that's what cricket or sports gets you into a situation.
India, Pakistan did not even play each other for nearly, for 7-8 years, right? There was a whole gap.
So whose loss was this? Cricket's loss. Indian and Pakistan is bigger than the Ashes, Australia or English rivalry. Whose loss is this? It is cricket's loss. It is the loss of all these players.
So the high of the game is bigger than the sovereignty of the country. That's what I gather from the words of a cricketing fan and a cricket journalist.
But mixing the two things and then asking them to boycott.
Why can't you mix? I don't understand. How is it independent?
That's what I'm saying. Then go.
When you have the government deciding whether a Pakistan team can go or not go to India for Asia Cup, why can't the Indian government also?
The Indian government decided.
The Indian government should have decided precisely what the question is. Precisely what the question is, and I agree with you that we should have had someone from the government on the panel. I agree with you. I agree with you that we should have asked.
Get your facts clear. India refused to go to Pakistan for Champions Trophy. That's where we play in Dubai. And right now also we as a host are hosting game in Dubai. Where is the problem? India also refused there because of the security reasons. They also refused earlier for Asia Cup because of the security reasons. That's what that protocol is, or that's what ICC also always asks for. Where is the problem? I don't understand.
Is the Operation Sindoor over? Let us ask ourselves a question.
That's precisely what Mr. Luthra says here. Don't ask me that question. I'm a sports lover. I'm all for fair game.
Don't ask this question to Government of India. The national sentiment and national dignity should be kept behind just because somebody wants to make money. BCCI wants to make money out of this. If it is a loss of money, so be it. We do not wish to have any relationship with Pakistan. Pakistan is totally no for us.
That is what I'm saying. Stop it. Be isolated. Play your own games. Play hate mongering. Or do
we will do that. We will do that. The entire nation is standing behind these 26 widows. What do you tell to these widows? We have forgotten what has happened to you. The entire nation is standing with them.
Tell our Prime Minister and Home Minister to take revenge. But I will not tell my players to do these things. Their job is to go and try and bring two countries together.
No, I'm sorry. This is not the job of... I'm sorry. This is not the job of cricketers. Cricketers' job is only to play. And this is not the time to play. Please.
And come on. Listen. You go and ask the same question to your Home Minister, whose son is there as ICC chief. You are questioning the wisdom
entire government is bending on its knees just because
you are questioning the wisdom of the
chairman of BCCI. That is why the government is not even making any action.
That's a problem with the people.
Why are we hiding this fact from the nation? Because Amit Shah's son is...
Listen, go and ask America.
The government is not...
Dr. Rajiv Nanda, firing at Mr. Luthra right now, I don't see much sense. Of course, we're voicing our pent-up anger. We're voicing pent-up anger.
This is the sentiment.
We're voicing our pent-up anger here, but the fact is that maybe there should have been a government representative who we could have directed the question to. I agree with that. But since you're the one batting for this, that it should continue, you get the fire. Right now, you're in the line of fire, Mr. Luthra. I'm sorry for that.
That's okay. But I don't care because I'm not a political reporter. I'm a sports reporter. Sure. I will always bat with the state bat. I always play or write with the sports.
Okay. I have a question for Dr. Rajiv that Mr. Luthra said that there is a binding contract where India has agreed that because of the tensions with Pakistan, that it will never play Pakistan in home country. I don't know if it's never or at least for this Asia Cup. Is it never or only for this?
For this Asia Cup? For a few years.
Okay, for a few years.
For a few years. Yes.
Okay, for a few years, India will not pay Pakistan in our country, home country. And it's a contract and that's binding. Now, if India goes against it, we lose face and, then we could be sidelined on the international platform. So at the end of it, it's also about sportsmanship. It's also legally binding contract.
No. One small interjection. Yeah. If we start doing that, if we start disobeying our own, signatures or whatever treaties, then tomorrow, if you are trying for 2036 Olympic Games, obviously you will not be entertained because as a host country for any game, it is binding on any host country to allow the opposition athletes, journalists, and all the officials without passport, with passports, but without visas. When I go and attend any Asian Games or any Olympics, then I don't require a visa there. My accreditation card serves like a visa. So if you do that, then obviously your vision.
These are fair concerns. I agree with you. Fair concerns for a sports person. This is big. It's a huge blow if that happens. But Shekhar, you wanted to make a point.
Yeah, see, ultimately it all boils down to what we really believe in India has managed pretty well without playing in Pakistan for the last 10 odd years, 7 odd years, right? We have played the IPL, we have done well. I think we have to draw a line, Nabila. We have to be very clear that if this is a country which is supporting terrorism, we don't engage with them in any form. I appreciate the concerns Chandrasekhar ji says. We both share the same name. And I agree with that. But I think it's also important for India to take a proper stand and the government to take a clear stand in terms of what we want to do with this. If you've got the Prime Minister, the Defense Minister, and all the ministers in the cabinet talking about Operation Sindoor being active, and we are talking about it from the TV interviews, we are the common man is talking about it, then what is the value of a human life? What is the value of the 26 odd people who died in Pahalgam? What is the guarantee that that accident will not happen again? What is the guarantee that this terrorist activity will not happen again? We don't know the solution to that. And the only way to do that is to cut out all ties with Pakistan. Teach them a lesson. This is the best time to teach them a lesson. Otherwise, we will always be starting from ground zero. Also, this can also happen that Pakistan will start making fun of India, saying that,
boycotting them.
Game done. So I don't think we should even engage with them. We should not play with them because India does not lose anything. India has got enough cricketing muscle.
We just heard the list of things that India could lose. First of all, loss of face on the international sporting circuit. Our chance to participate in the Olympics.
Loss of credibility
that's not more important than national pride.
All our chances of hosting any international games will be out. It's over and out.
So that's not damaging enough as much as what playing with them does. That's what Shekhar says. Playing with Pakistan actually puts us in a worse spot. That we are compromising with our integrity and our sovereignty, and that's even worse than losing face on an international sports arena. But final question, Dr. Rajiv Nanda, legally binding contract that India has, that they've agreed to play Pakistan on a neutral in a neutral country. When was this contract signed? Would you have an idea, Mr. Luthra? Post Pahalgam?
December. Yes. Post Pahalgam, December. This was December. I think before that.
Prior to Pahalgam.
I think before that.
And there is the legal binding is not. See, if we are talking about law, there is a clause called force majeure. Force majeure means if the situation does not warrant, we can always say no to it. And the situation currently is total no. We must say that this is a force majeure situation where we will be playing this tournament, but we will certainly not be playing against Pakistan. This is against the national sentiment, Rashtra Sarvopari. Force majeure is the clause we can invoke and say no, we will not play against Pakistan. It's not legally binding.
All right. I think we've heard voices and we've heard reasonable voices on all sides. I really appreciate all of you joining us. Well, the match is on schedule. We haven't heard any of it from the government or the BCCI or the ICC about any change in schedule. India will be playing Pakistan on the 14th of September, but we will see a whole host of protests that will be across the country, including Maharashtra, where the Shiv Sena Uddhav Thackeray camp are all set to protest, where thousands of women, we believe, are going to send sindoor to Prime Minister Modi in protest because India is playing Pakistan. So these kind of protests we will see in many places, boycott calls happening on social media platforms. But well, the match is on. On that note, we're slipping into a short break. We'll be right back. Stay with us. it. Now, let me cut across to the big story that's rocked the globe. In fact, in the United States, a shocking act of political violence that stunned America. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA and a close ally of Donald Trump, was shot dead during his American comeback tour. He was, in fact, talking to a huge audience, nearly 3,000 people, at the Utah Valley University when he was assassinated in full public glare. Investigators say the ammunition recovered from the scene was engraved with transgender and anti-fascist slogans, suggesting that the attack carried an ideological message. President Donald Trump has announced that Charlie Kirk will be posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, calling it recognition of his contributions and legacy. Listen in.
I have no doubt that Charlie's voice and the courage he put into the hearts of countless people, especially young people, will live on. I'm pleased to announce that I will soon be awarding Charlie Kirk posthumously the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Charlie Kirk was barely 31 years of age. He was addressing an audience of nearly 3,000 people when a single gunshot rang out as he answered questions on gun violence. He was just about speaking on gun violence at a time when he was shot. Witnesses say the bullet struck him in the neck, and investigators believe that it was fired sniper style from a rooftop overlooking the campus. Now, the FBI and the local police have launched a massive manhunt. Authorities have confirmed the weapon used was, it's been recovered. The weapon has been recovered. The man is still on the run, but they believe it's a college student-ish person, that the assassin could likely be, or likely looks like a college student, someone young. He's still on the run. Let's hear it from the FBI.
We have recovered what we believe is the weapon that was used in yesterday's shooting. It is a high-powered bolt-action rifle. Investigators have also collected footwear impression, a palm print, and forearm imprints for analysis.
Now, Utah's public safety commissioner said that this was a targeted attack. Several people have been questioned. CCTV footage is being scanned, but no suspect has been named yet. The killing has triggered bipartisan outrage. We saw, of course, Donald Trump calling Kirk a patriot, ordering flags at half-staff, and vowed to hunt down each and every one responsible for this murder. Leaders across political spectrums, in fact, Barack Obama condemned this murder, including UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, all of them condemning this, saying this is an absolute threat to democracy. Charlie Kirk was a co-founder of Turning Point USA. He founded it in 2012 and he rose to fame with his fiery speeches. He was a voice of young conservatives, quite a strong proponent of Trump's MAGA agenda, very outspoken, and spoke strongly against immigration. He was Christian, so he spoke extensively on Christianity and also gun rights, on the right to owning a gun. His showmanship made him quite a fixture on TV podcasts and college campuses. So quite a popular media figure at 31. Clearly a target for whoever wanted him out. Tonight, America there grappling with this assassination of a rising conservative star. And the big question, who really pulled the trigger? The man is still on the run. And what does this really mean for US politics? Joining me live is Ravindra Gadampalli, Vice Chair, Republican Party, Wake County. Thank you very much. He's live from Washington, D.C. We also have Gulrez Khan, Indian-American entrepreneur and politician, live from Texas. I appreciate both of you for taking your time. Very sad day for America, the oldest democracy, looking at political violence, and with such precision the attack happened. We're shocked. And this has really gripped global headlines. India is no different. Would you want to give us a little sense? Let me start with Ravindra Gadampalli, who's from the Republican Party. Charlie Kirk was your ally.
Right. It's a very sad news for the Republican Party and conservative world. So this is the assassination attack is not the first time on the conservatives and Republican Party. Okay, it's a human being. I mean, it was not tried. They tried on Trump last year. We know whole world knows what happened in the democracy and what happened. Assassination attempt was against Mr. President. The same thing, the same kind of people, same kind of community was tried again on a conservative activist who is, putting the world, putting this country in the right path. The Charles was trying to generation, young generation, that Gen Z and the millennial, these are trying into the wrong path. And he was trying to correct them in a right path in the country. That is what happening in his entire life. And anyways, whatever the speeches, whether it follows, Republican agenda, conservative agenda, doesn't matter. There is a voice in the democracy. It's a free. Yeah, other organizations, they have the freedom to convey their message and attack, on media, content, not with the bullet. Bullet will not the solution to the problem. That's what Indian majority of the Indians, and that's what Hinduism says. That is what our freedom speeches the people whole world. That Mahatma Gandhi teaches that attack and assassinations is not the solution. Okay, but unfortunately, still in the democracy, there are the people, those who don't like it, like the conservative principles, they are trying to attack on the conservatives. So this is not the solution for the people. This is the big loss for this Republican Party.
It's a loss to the world, and loss to the world, why I say, is because we are looking at rising number of such political attacks, and America now, the kind of gun violence that we are seeing in the recent past is appalling. So this is scary, and to the world, because you're looking at youth who are indulging in such acts and so fearlessly. But Gulrez, right or wrong, whether Charlie Kirk was propagating the right ideas or the wrong ideas, it all depends on the ideology one follows and how you view him. But violence of all kinds must be condemned. And here we're looking at...
the entire world has to condemn the violence.
Yeah, correct. Now, bringing in Gulrez on that. Gulrez, how much of this attack do you believe is tied to the polarization that currently Trump-era politics has indulged in, be it anti-immigration, anti-LGBTQ, and this rhetoric that a lot of people in America at this point, of course, the opposition, Democrats largely, do not approve of it, but you can't associate this assassin with the Democrats at all. That's, of course, we can't do that, but at the same time, we're looking at the kind of divide in the country. Do you believe that this could be tied to that?
Just like Mr. Ravinder said, it is an extremely sad day in the United States. Extremely tragic. Charlie Kirk was not only an American hero, he was a global icon. He was a conservative voice, and he was a voice for freedom of speech, not just within the United States, but the whole globe. The whole youth globally, they followed him and looked up to him. So he spoke the truth. He spoke the fundamental values and principles of freedom and liberty and equal opportunity, which are the foundational principles of the United States. It is indeed very tragic, and giving it any kind of political manifestation, we should sway away from all that. Right now, we lost a very young leader of our nation, of our party. We pray for him and his family. And Charlie Kirk will always live in our hearts forever.
Yes.
We saw condemnation coming in across party lines. Of course, nobody tolerates violence, and if this can happen to Charlie Kirk, it can happen to anyone. But amid a crowd of nearly 3,000 people in Utah University, Charlie Kirk's personal security was in place. There were additional security present as part of the Utah University campus itself. Despite all of that, the guts and just the courage that the assassin had to stand right 200 meters away from a rooftop and strike at Charlie Kirk. It's shocking. And like our panelists said earlier, this was tried on Donald Trump as well, even before he became the president. So there's this real urge there to stop the conservative Republican voice, at least the conservative voice and their ideology to come to fore mainstream in the United States, even before Trump came into being. Came into being the president for the second time.
Well, conservative voice is voice of moral values, family values, and being an Indian American, we all come from a conservative culture where our communities, our society is one big family. So that's what Charlie Kirk stood for. And again, those are the foundational values which created America, built America, and made America great. So somebody who was opposing that needs to be condemned, and you cannot curb anybody's voice who stands up and fights.
Justifying violence. But do you believe this is tied to the Trump era narrative, anti-immigration, strong stance, sending out scores of immigrants, without an actual say, anti-LGBTQ narratives, and we believe that the gun that was found had some transgender and anti-fascist ideology etched on that gun. So it very well suggests that the assassin is angry with the Trump era politics.
I would like to tell you one thing.
Yeah,
I mean, this assassination is not at all related to the anti-immigration policies. Okay, this assassination well tried. I mean, LGBTQ people, they are trying all the time. They are trying to do against conservatives. Never and ever any immigrants, I mean, those who comes into the country, well, they are working, they are doing their jobs, and they are part of this economical growth, and they never involved in most of the immigrants who legally came to this country. And Charlie never talked anything related against H1B. Okay, only thing is to correct the process of H1B. That is one thing I need to correct it. And second thing is, Republican Party or conservatives are never and ever against any legal immigrants. Only illegal immigrants, they are targeting with illegal immigrants. But those who are trying to assassinate these people are mostly they are LGBTQ associated groups or transgender associated group are targeting these conservatives. Conservative principles, they don't like it. Okay, conservative principle is a family ethics, family values, giving the respect to the elder, and financial conservatism. Okay, respecting and society, respecting economic. These are all the conservative system teaches here. That is what Charlie did it for this society. This is for the younger generation. So this is the big loss for not only Republican Party. American younger generation will get affected with this kind of violence.
All right, Gulrez, we're looking at the assassination here that almost has shaken the entire globe. All right, we have some images coming in. FBI releases a photograph of the person of interest in the Kirk shooting. So that's the person who's likely to have shot at Charlie Kirk. In fact, this is a photograph released by the FBI. It's been now close to 24 hours after the assassination, and FBI had no one in their radar, and finally we believe this person is likely to have been the man who shot at Charlie Kirk from a 200-meter distance at a rooftop. He stood at a rooftop, sniper style attack, shot straight at Charlie Kirk, got him in one shot, shot him on the neck, and that's it. He died moments later. So there you have it. Those are some of the images that are coming in. FBI releasing a photograph of their person of interest in Charlie Kirk shooting. A college-looking person, someone who looks young, college-ish. These were the words used by FBI sources, saying that the person who killed Charlie Kirk could have been young and a college-looking person. So that's the image that's now been released, and the the hunt is on for him right now. All right, I really appreciate our guest for joining us with that. Thank you very much. All right, let me cut across to all our top stories in day tonight. I'm going to start with Aam Aadmi Party MLA Sanjay Singh, who's currently in house arrest in Srinagar. The National Conference has stepped in to back the Aam Aadmi Party after the AAP's Jammu and Kashmir President and MLA Mehraj Malik was detained under the Public Safety Act on September 8th. Mehraj Malik, facing 18 FIRs and 16 police reports for allegedly disturbing public order in Doda, was taken into custody and sent to the Baderwa jail under what AAP calls a draconian PSA. In solidarity, AAP MP Sanjay Singh flew into Srinagar to stage a protest, but the party claims that he too was placed under house arrest. Police allegedly locked the gates of the government guest house where he was staying. When Farooq Abdullah tried to meet him, he was stopped, prompting Singh to climb the gate to speak with the former chief minister. Now, Farooq Abdullah slammed the move, reminding that protest is a constitutional right and accused the LG of misusing power to silence voices. Arvind Kejriwal added that basically adding weight to this story, posting on X that people's voices are being suppressed and opposition leaders are being jailed, accusing the BJP of resorting to open hooliganism. All right, let me cut across to Nepal. Nepal's interim government is set to be headed by Kulman Ghising, a technocrat best known as a man who ended the country's crippling 18-hour power cuts. An engineer trained in Jamshedpur, Ghising won nationwide respect for turning Nepal's electricity sector around, earning a clean crisis manager image that now propels him from power reforms to the very center of politics. Now his appointment comes right in time as a Himalayan nation reels from an unprecedented showdown between relentless Gen Z protesters and Nepal's powerful army, while in clashes outside the army headquarters in Kathmandu saw security forces seizing a huge cache of arms and ammunition, raising fears of deeper instability. The political churn has already claimed Prime Minister KP Oli Sharma. His resignation was sought, in fact, almost pushed him to resign. He resigned this week. Kathmandu Mayor Balen Shah withdrew his name, and former Chief Justice Sushila Karki, despite strong support, also stepped aside, and that gave way for Ghising. In fact, both of them cited constitutional hurdles, as the lady here, Sushila, is 70 years of age and says that she can't represent or does not want to represent Gen Z's aspiration at this point. So Ghising is the man. He's going to be heading the interim government in Bangladesh. The unrest, of course, meanwhile, is spilling onto the streets beyond Indian travelers now getting caught up in this chaos despite chilling scenes of fear and anxiety, desperate to return home. Some of the protesters there, in fact, even bullied Indian tourists who were there, not knowing, blindly, basically cornering everybody who came in their way. Some of the Indians who were strapped and stranded spoke.
I don't even understand why they are burning everything. We can see from our hotel, they are burning outside everything. So it's very scary, and it's like a lockdown here. We are staying in the hotel only for 3 days. We couldn't go outside. We can't step out.
All right, now let me cut across to Karnataka's Mandya. Instead of calming nerves during the Ganesh Visarjan procession in Mandya, BJP leaders C.T. Ravi and Basangada Patil Yatnal have inflamed tempers with provocative remarks now. At a rally in Madhur, BJP MLC C.T. Ravi declared that Muslims would be beheaded if they challenged the Hindus. He went further to call Hindus the true sons of the soil while branding Muslims as outsiders. The comments have triggered outrage and forced Madhur police to act. In fact, C.T. Ravi has been booked for that comment. Sub-Inspector Manjunath filed a complaint leading to an FIR filed against C.T. Ravi. But he is unfazed. He responded that the police cases will not stop him from speaking for Hindus.
ನಮ್ಮ ಮಸೀದಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಬರಬಾರದು. ಅರೆ ನಿನಗೊಂದು ಮಾತು ಹೇಳಿಕ್ ಬಯಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಇಸ್ಲಾಂ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು 1400 ವರ್ಷದ ಹಿಂದೆ. ಹಿಂದೂ ಧರ್ಮ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ 16,000 ವರ್ಷದ ಹಿಂದೆ. ನೀವು ಹೊರಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ಬಂದವರು, ನಾವಿಲ್ಲೇ ಹುಟ್ಟುಗಾರರು. ನಮಗೆ ತೊಡೆ ತಟ್ಟ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. ತೊಡೆ
But Ravi wasn't the only one stirring the controversy. Expelled BJP leader Basangauda Patil Yatnal has added fuel to this, saying that if he was Home Minister, he would shoot Muslims in the mouth, dismissing the Muslim community as Gunda community. The twin outbursts now has only snowballed into a major political flashpoint. Mandya now raising questions over why leaders, instead of cooling tensions, are choosing to escalate them. Remember, all of this comes in the backdrop of the Ganesh Chaturthi festival, the procession, Ganesh procession that was on while it was passing through a mosque in Madur. Stone pelting was reported. Both claim that on both sides stone pelting happened, and that situation led to almost riot-like situation. Now full security is in place in Mandya, but here you have it, BJP leaders now making these comments, further making the situation sensitive. Right, cutting across to Kerala. Kerala has reported its 6th death in a month from a rare and deadly brain infection caused by an amoeba. The latest victim now is a 47-year-old Shaji from Malappuram, was under treatment at Kozhikode Medical College but did not survive. This is the second death this week. 2 more patients, including a 10-year-old girl, tested positive on Wednesday. In total, 10 patients are hospitalized, 1 of them critical, while 18 remain under treatment. This infection, the brain-eating amoeba, primarily known as amoebic meningoencephalitis, is caused when contaminated water enters the nose. The amoeba then travels into the brain, leading to swelling and rapid destruction of brain tissue. Early symptoms include headache, fever, nausea, and a stiff neck. Quickly worsens into confusion and seizures, and then eventually coma, making survival extremely rare. Health officials admit that they are struggling to trace the source of this amoeba across Malappuram and Kozhikode. They are urging people to avoid unsafe waters and ensure that they disinfect everything and everywhere they go. All right, let me quickly cut across to a shocking murder, a brutal murder that's come in from Hyderabad inside a gated community. A woman in Hyderabad inside a gated community was mercilessly killed in what authorities call quite a horrifying home invasion. Renu Agarwal, 50-year-old, was found dead in her flat at Swan Lake Apartments in Kokatpalli. Living on the 13th floor with her husband and son, she was discovered by her family tied up and lying in a pool of blood. After failing to answer calls throughout the day, they found out that she was murdered. The attack was savage. Renu's hands and feet were bound. And this, remember, was inside a gated community. She was bludgeoned with a pressure cooker, slashed with knives and scissors, and her throat was slit, and she died on the spot. After the murder, the killers looted 40 grams of gold and 1 lakh in cash. Disturbingly, they even took a shower inside the flat and changed their clothes and left all their blood-stained garments behind before fleeing. Police have zeroed in on 2 domestic workers as prime suspects. Harsh, hired just 10 days ago, and Roshan, who had been working in the building for at least 9 years. Both hail from Jharkhand. CCTV footage shows the suspects leaving on the Agarwal family scooter at around 5 p.m. Authorities suspect that they were heading towards Ranchi and have deployed 5 teams to track them down. Grisly crime inside a gated community shocks us. Thanks very much for tuning in. We'll be right here, same time, same place tomorrow. Have a great night.
ट्रस्टेड लॉयर शर्मा जी ने अपने दीवारों पर जेके मैक्स पेंट्स क्या लगवाया? अजीब अजीब बहाने लेकर आने लगे पड़ोसी उनका घर देखने।
हाय शर्मा जी, एक रील बना लूं उस ब्यूटीफुल सी वॉल के पास।
हमारा टॉम ही नहीं मिल रहा, यहाँ आया होगा।
मुझे गर्मा गर्म पकौड़े।
जेके मैक्स पेंट्स, खुशियों के रंग।
Power of Digi-Alkaline from Nippo Thor.
पेंटिंग में पहली बार बिरला ओपस अश्योरेंस। 1 साल में पेंट को कुछ भी हुआ तो पेंटिंग वापस करके देंगे। रजिस्टर करो birlaopus.com पर।
Papa, let's go to Duda. Happy birthday, Duda. Duda, I love you. Go, Duda, go. I love my Duda. Duda. I love
Skoda. 18th सेंचुरी और अभी तक चल रही है।
ज्यादा नहीं चलेगी।
कुछ कहा?
प्रोमिनेंस नहीं,
प्रोमिनेंस।
वाओ, ओरिजिनल।
या स्पेन से लाए थे।
वहीं छोड़ा थे। प्रोमिनेंस नहीं है ना?
प्रोमिनेंस?
मैं कहना चाह रहा था कि प्रोमिनेंस नहीं है।
प्रोमिनेंस मतलब?
प्रोमिनेंस विंडोज, इसमें है हाईएस्ट वेदर रेजिस्टेंस और घर को रखे सेफ फ्रॉम टर्माइट, सीपेज, डस्ट एंड नॉइज। प्रोमिनेंस फॉर द वर्ल्ड यू डिजर्व।
Light, camera, and action. Kick back, relax, grab your favorite snack because News 9 is here with your weekend dose of entertainment. It's time to take a deeper dive into the buzzworthy happenings of the entertainment world. From celebrity gossips to exclusive conversations, from nostalgic moments to News 9's pick of the week. Don't worry, we've got you covered here. And I hope you've grabbed your popcorn by now because News 9's Page 3 is here to serve you everything that we call entertainment. So do stay tuned every Saturday and Sunday, 2:30 p.m.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
The headlines